my lab with the magic. Okay, that's the idea I'm going to do. So, have a mixer. Mixer there. Microphone going into the line input there, line input there. Another microphone coming out, going there. So 3 microphones, say on a basic 2-way passive speaker, or it could be active crossover. Okay, but if passive, I would check see what the sound, the frequency is happening on the inside and on the outside. Balance the microphone here, which is near to the bass driver, on axis. I could put it off axis or diagonal axis, don't matter which. And then my microphone on the inside, so it's picking up all the sound on the enclosure, on the lows and the middle bass frequency until it rolls off. It should also do a frequency sweep, see what's going on with the frequency curve. Okay. Also, so those microphones all go into the mixer. Need the screen, computer, PC. This all comes back into the computer, and then see all the display on the RTA, or I can see oscilloscope, whatever. And then, of course, check in with a voltmeter. Okay, so that'll be connected to the amplifier. Check the signal. That also amplifier will be connected to the computer, which will be connected to the THX crossover system. So let's see, they'll cut out going to the THX, and then the THX connected to the computer. Is that pretty complicated? It's looking complicated in my mind. So that's just a forward view. So passive crossover. So you need to connect the voltmeter, also connect it to the bass signal on the crossover. See what the level is, the voltage level. So check it with pink noise, full range scale, and then take the probe or take the wire off, and then have it then connect into the tweeter or the HF horn, whatever, and check the frequency value, check it on there and see what the numbers are. And then, of course, if you've got multiple surround, in theory, so my room, typical 3 down the side wall, each side, 3 down the side. They could play pan through Atmos, they could do pan through. So if they're playing Dolby Stereo, I need to check the voltmeter's got to be connected to each individual speaker to get because they're amplifier, to get the signal, the level balancing and all that going to each has to be checked independently, and then checked to see what the overall signal, voltage signal would be. So if the signal goes up here, and that's electronically on the crossover, and then how does it look on the stage channel? How does it look? I don't know. It's got to be checked, isn't it? So, oh no, what am I doing? Oh, drop the phone. Butterfingers. So I need to check the value on the, the electrical value on the, and the acoustical. Because there's two things that got to be checked. Frequency RTA, that's another step in the phase of the, because you got to know what's doing what, because higher sensitivity on the HF horn is greater than a few of the mid and tweeter range on the surround speakers. When you think about the sensitivity range, got to calculate the sensitivity, got to need the spec. So what's the spec say on this tweeter and this mid-range JBL? Partly it goes a little way into the bass mid, and that's only a proportion, so it's calculating, doing it mathematically. So you get even though tonality, compare a speaker there to a speaker here, the tonality is going to be different. It may give a similar frequency, but tonality is different. In, say, disconnect the mid. Bass port, yeah. So it's like several things there. So it's like comparing the bass mid overall on there, all those, just those, the side and the back half of the surround. Maybe the overhead, because depending on what format I'm playing, every value's got to be checked, so how it would perform, and then checking the sensitivity of the bass driver on a single screen channel, and then combining all of them. So well, we'll see. Or comparing to the HF4. Comparing the HF4 as well. It's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated to compare the math, the because if you look at the frequency on an RTA direct, it's almost going to be within a value of it's going to be within a value of a few dB tolerance, left to center, right, depending on how good the mix is, through to the surround. And don't forget the X curve, which is frequency. It kind of rolls off. 2 kilohertz. I think it rolls off at 100. It starts to steadily roll off near 100. You got to look at the frequency, the curvature. I think the X curve should be thrown out. Well, means every other movie's got to be remixed. Well, at least it's not really applicable today now, I don't think. Even though other past movies would be maybe mixed with X curve, and maybe say you don't mix it now with X curve because the speakers are better. They can go up to high frequencies. That's easily achievable now. They can go down lower than what they were previous. It's cinema real. Gosh, they were kind of limited. Now they could go lower down. Okay, where you just add on more bass drivers and basically you putting the level up, the signal. Then you could just retune it a little bit, and then you get the frequency going down to 20. And then once you think, oh, let's go a bit lower, and you got to add in maybe a different bass drivers as such, and then have a crossover specifically on it so it handles this proportion, but it's still connected to that channel, left, center, right, surround this, surround that, whatever. And it's still connected, but it goes down lower depending on if it's mixed. If there's something mixed, then it will be reproduced. But that's the sort of test I'm going to do next. I've got 2 voltmeters, 2 are the same. I've got enough microphone to sync a battleship. I'm just going to simply test on a sub bass. It's not easy. Get behind the projection screen and set the microphone up in the position. It takes enormous energy out of me, enormous effort doing it on my own. So I'd have to put a microphone on the inside of the bass cab, one on the outside, one near the HF horn, and then electronically. Okay, delivery. Some cable here. I didn't need so much of it, I don't need a whole lot. Yeah, that's pretty flexible. I thought it was going to be pretty stiff. This is pretty flexible. Use that for the. I'm just going to make a new lead up, just to connect out from the Sony SDDS over to the RCA input on the Storm Audio. So this was pretty cheap. An audio file now they would have spent literally 1 million just on that piece of cable. This is not even the 1 meter length. I only need a short specific length to go from, I think this is 1 meter. So I only need a certain length to go around the where it needs to go. Yeah. Anyway. So like that, I can do this. So I keep this on the board until I've done the testing. See how it looks, because I'm sure the results are going to be very interesting, especially going over to the surrounds, calculating the levels and such, and then calculating the levels on the bass channels across the screen channel independently and as a whole. Okay, see what the pink noise value signals are like, voltage level as well. And a lot more. There's a whole lot more to this. There's a whole lot more beside all this. There's a whole lot more.